Today we start a new chapter, water. Water is very important as it is needed in everyday life for various purposes. It also acts as a solvent in most of our life processes. Water covers about 70% of the Earth's surface and is essential for the survival of all life forms on Earth. Though 70% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, only less than 1% of water on Earth is useful or suitable for use. What are the different sources of water? Sources of water can be classified or divided into two main categories: surface water and underground water. What is surface water? Surface water is any source of water that flows or is stored on the surface of the earth. The two main sources of surface water is rainwater and the various water bodies. Rainwater is the purest form of natural water as it is formed by the condensation of water vapor. However, as rainwater falls through the atmosphere, it gets dissolved in atmospheric gases, smoke, and dust. This water on the surface of the earth gets stored in water bodies such as rivers, lakes, streams, reservoirs, sea, and ocean. The water in the sea and ocean contains a amount of dissolved salts and therefore cannot be used directly for drinking or for irrigation. The underground water. Rainwater and the water in water bodies, it seeps into the ground to collect above the non-porous rocks as underground water, or also known as groundwater. Groundwater can be used for drinking and irrigation purposes by digging wells and tube wells. Sometimes groundwater comes out of the surface at some places to form natural springs. See this picture. You will see how surface water seeps into the ground as groundwater. Water is found in all three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. The solid form of water is known as ice, the liquid form is known as water, and the gaseous form is known as water vapor. Now let's discuss the formation of a solution. When a solution is being formed, two substances are required: solute and the solvent. What is a solute? Solute is the substance that dissolves. It is taken in lesser amount. For example, if I want to dissolve sugar in water, I add sugar to the water and sugar dissolves in water. So sugar here is the solute because it dissolves in water and it is taken in lesser amount. The solvent is the substance in which the solute dissolves and it is taken in larger amount compared to the solute. For example, when I add sugar to water, the sugar dissolves in water. That means water here is the solvent, and compared to sugar, we take larger amount of water. So the substance that dissolves is the solute, and the substance in which it dissolves is known as the solvent. The solute and the solvent, they mix together to form a solution or the solute dissolves in the solvent to form a solution. If the solvent is water, such a solution is known as an aqueous solution. So we define solution as a homogeneous mixture of a solute in a solvent. What does the term homogeneous mean? Homogeneous means same throughout. That means the entire water molecules now contain sugar molecules dissolved in it. It has the same properties throughout. So if the mixture is homogeneous, then we call it a solution. Water has a special property. Most of the substances dissolve in water to form solutions. Hence, water is also known as a universal solvent. Most of the substances we see around us, most of the chemicals dissolve in water. So it is called a universal solvent. If a solute dissolves in the solvent, it is called a soluble substance. And if a solute does not dissolve in the solvent, it is known as an insoluble substance. For example, salt dissolves in water, so salt is a soluble substance. Sand does not dissolve in water, so it is an insoluble substance. There are many factors that affects the formation of a solution. The first factor is the nature of the solute and the solvent. So, whether the solute dissolves in the solvent or not, it totally depends on the chemical nature of both the solute and the solvent. The next factor that affects the formation of a solution is stirring or shaking. When we stir or shake the solute, the particles dissolve faster in the solvent. You must have observed when you just add sugar to water, it will take a long time for it to dissolve. But if you stir it with a spoon, the sugar dissolves faster in water. The next factor that affects the formation of solution is heating. Again, I will take the example of sugar. If you add sugar to cold water, it will dissolve slowly. But if you dissolve it in hot water or the water is heated, the sugar dissolves faster. So the solubility of most of the substances in water increases when it is heated. The last factor is the size of the solute particles. Smaller the solute particles, the faster it dissolves. Like, for example, if you take sugar powder, it dissolves faster in water compared to crystals of sugar. So, smaller the size of the solute, faster it dissolves. So, the conditions of factors that affect the formation of a solution are nature of the solute and the solvent, stirring or shaking, heating, and the size of the solute particles. Depending on the amount of solute present in a solution, it can be a saturated solution or an unsaturated solution. So, what is an unsaturated solution? You take a glass of water and you add 1 spoonful of salt to it. You mix it. What happens? The salt dissolves in water. Now, to that water, you can add and dissolve some more salt. So, the solution, that salt solution or the water, can dissolve some more salt in it. Such a solution is known as unsaturated solution. So, an unsaturated solution can dissolve more of the solute at a particular temperature. Now, what happens? I add 1 spoonful, 2 spoonfuls. I keep on adding. Now, suppose I reach 10 spoonful. Then what happens? Even after stirring it, you will find that some salt is left at the bottom of the glass. That means no more salt can be added to the water now. Now, this solution is called a saturated solution. So, a saturated solution is a solution in which no more solute can be dissolved at that particular temperature. So, in an unsaturated solution, more solute can be dissolved in a particular temperature, and in a saturated solution, no more solute can be dissolved at that particular temperature. So, this brings us to a term known as solubility. Solubility of a solute is the amount or quantity of solute that dissolves in a particular amount of the solvent at a particular temperature. So, solubility of a solute is the amount of solute that dissolves in a particular amount of solvent at a particular temperature. The solubility of a solute depends on the temperature, or it is affected by temperature. Usually, the solubility of any solute increases with an increase in temperature. Suppose I take a saturated solution of salt and water and I heat it, I will see that even the undissolved salt will now dissolve in water. That means when the temperature is increased, the solubility also increases. But substances like calcium sulfate and calcium hydroxide, what happens is when there is an increase in temperature, their solubility decreases in water. That means when the temperatures increase, less solute will dissolve in the water. That is in the case of calcium sulfate and calcium hydroxide. But usually, with an increase in temperature, the solubility also increases. So today we discussed about the amount of water present on the Earth's surface, the sources of water, formation of a solution from a solute and a solvent, why water is known as a universal solvent, the various conditions or factors that affect the formation of a solution, saturated and unsaturated solution, solubility of a solute, and the effect of temperature on the solubility of a solute. I hope you all understood what was discussed today. Thank you. Bye bye.